This is the lab work of Dr. Tony Huge, taken in September. And I get my lab work done roughly every month, at least every other month, but almost every month to track my different experiments. We're going to analyze how healthy I am. I'm going to do my quick overview. I'm going to hand it over to Trevor to give his overview. Going down the list, my blood thickness is actually okay because I did drain blood a couple times. Trevor drained my blood in the bathroom, as you guys saw on the Instagram and Facebook Live, right in the kitchen, into a measuring cup. But my platelets are still high. My platelets went really high. We drained my blood. My platelets came back high. Something's causing my blood platelets, which is the clotting factors that make you, when you bleed, it's what causes you to stop bleeding. It's too high, which puts me at risk of heart attack or stroke. So we're going to drain my blood again. We drained some right after this test as soon as we found out. We're going to drain more tomorrow at Tony Huge Laboratories. My kidneys look fine all the way until we get to potassium. My potassium is 5.9, normal is 3.5 to 5.2. And that's just because I am eating a lot of potassium. I don't think that's because of growth hormone or any kidneys issues. I think that's just because I've been consciously just pounding tons of potassium during this window of time.
And this wasn't fasted either. That one was great.
This one was a fasted test, and this one was not a fasted test. So I do have a fasted. The one I'm going through is a fasted, which means I didn't eat that morning. My liver enzymes are elevated, but within what is normal for me. Normal is to be less than 40 or 44 for AST and ALT, two of the liver enzymes. Mine are 60 and 61, which is elevated, but that's what mine always are. And I've had my liver ultrasound done multiple times. My liver is 100% fine. My pH of my urine is 8.0, which means my urine is basic, not acidic. And normally urine is more acidic than my urine was.
In the mornings, yeah. Towards the end of the day with the release of, you have the release of electrolytes, which part of it is sodium, that being basic. You have to remember towards the end of the day, it could be two different factors, but that's what happens towards the end of the day.
Okay, next we go to occult blood, which means I had a little bit of blood in my urine. Now, it wasn't visible to the eye. You can look as close as you want at my urine. My urine looks clean and clear. In fact, according to my laboratory technicians at Tony Huge Laboratory, and they compared my urine to all the other samples, I've got very healthy looking urine, but it has microscopic amounts of blood in it. We did further testing and found out that it was chlamydia, the STD. So I hit an antibiotic and took care of that. All my white blood cells were actually all in normal range. My immune system, everything is normal. I have an overactive immune system. Usually my white blood cells are higher, but I take allergy pills and things that are helping keeping my body's immune system and white blood cells at bay. My lipids my HDL is always low. It's 14. Usually we want it over 49, so that's the good cholesterol carrier. And the bad cholesterol carrier is 193, normal 0 to 99. So my cholesterol is still out of whack. It always has been my whole life. In fact, we did the Tony Huge Laboratories genetic testing to see that I have a predisposition to cholesterol issues. So even if I wasn't taking steroids or anything, my cholesterol would still suck. But with the steroids, it's even worse.
And your reactive protein too, your risk of cardiovascular event.
Okay, we're gonna get to that next. So my iron, everything else looks normal. This is 3 pages of lab work. This is extremely comprehensive. All the way to testosterone was very low, 416, which is in the normal range, but not like optimal range. That's what I consider pretty low, and that's because I was off testosterone. I was just on SARMs only. So that's either some residual testosterone from a shot that I had, 2-3 weeks before, or that's just my natural testosterone production. My free testosterone total was 416. My free testosterone was 21.5, which is normal, a little bit on the higher side. And the reason is probably because my sex hormone binding globulin that takes away from the free testosterone is probably low, but we'll get to that. My hemoglobin A1C, one of the most important ones, and this shows how elevated my blood sugar was over a period of time, let's say the last 6 months. And it's in the normal range. Normal is 4.8 to 5.6. Mine was 5.3, which means I'm not having the symptoms of diabetes or metabolic syndrome. Not that I don't eat a lot of sugar, but I take things like the Slim pills to to keep my blood sugar lower despite my horrible diet and keep my insulin sensitivity high. My prolactin was almost non-existent, like no prolactin, and I was not taking cabergoline. My prolactin seems to be chronically low. That seemed to be a common problem for me. But it might be something to the fact that I do mostly SARMs and less steroids. Maybe there's less hormones to be able to convert, and just my estrogen's very low, which there's a debate on whether estrogen even has any bearing on prolactin at all.
Well, progesterone, which also feeds, prolactin.
Okay, my luteinizing hormone, follicle-stimulating hormone, indicators of fertility and natural test production, practically zero. But I'm still fertile because I did a semen analysis. I have 2 million sperm. Normal is 15 million sperm. So I'm like 15 by 2, 7, 1/8. We'll call it 1/8 the normal fertility. But still enough to get girls pregnant, because at this level of fertility, I've still had multiple pregnancies.
So between FSH and LH, you have one that's producing the actual sperm and then one that's increasing testosterone.
So this one was interesting. My prostate actually making me a little nervous. And remember, I do mostly SARMs, so I was shocked. But I did throw in a little bit of tren here and there for experiments for slow amounts. But I was really shocked to see that my prostate stimulating hormone, PSA, or prostate specific antigen, sorry, was 0.8 on the first test, and a month later in October it was 1. Shoot, where is it? There's so many test results. So my most recent PSA is 1.17 prostate specific antigen. 1.17. Now that's still low. That's still very low, but it doesn't matter so much how high the PSA is. It's the trend. Like, is it trending upward? So my PSA is normally 0 or close to 0, and now all of a sudden it's moving up in a bad direction. So I'm just gonna start taking some prostate support supplements, and I'm gonna. That's it. I'm just gonna start taking some prostate supplements and just keep my eye on the number. All right, back to the test from September. Estrogen super low, less than 2.5. Normal is 8 to 35. And my C-reactive protein, which is my inflammation, is very high. High inflammation. 4.03 is my C-reactive protein, and the normal range is 0, obviously, to 3. So I'm outside the normal range. My gamma GT, a sign of my, the more accurate sign of my liver function, is perfectly normal. My insulin is normal. My electrolytes are in balance.